Hello everyone and welcome to my review for Sonic Triple Trouble. Yeah, Sonic Triple Trouble. It is the second platformer that was designed specifically for the Sega Game Gear, and it is the sequel to Sonic Chaos. So, let's not waste any time, let's go over the plot. So, hiding from Sonic after their last bout, Dr. Eggman has finally been able to acquire the 6 Chaos Emeralds. So we're still going with 6 Emeralds here, even though again, we're post-Sonic 3 and Knuckles, so we should know it's 7, but we're still going with 6. Alright, man. So Eggman has got the 6 Chaos Emeralds and is taking them to his new undersea fortress, the Atomic Destroyer, to use their power for his new ultimate weapon. While testing the final weapon, an accident occurs that causes all the emeralds to be scattered. Sonic and Tails quickly get a sense of the missing emeralds and set out to retrieve them. To delay them, Eggman tricks Knuckles into thinking that the Hedgehog wants the Chaos Emeralds for world domination. Now this starts a thing that we see a lot in Sonic games, which is Eggman keeps duping Knuckles into thinking Sonic is bad, which, after their first encounter, why would Knuckles ever trust Eggman and not trust Sonic? I have no goddamn clue, but they do this a lot. They do this a lot for some reason. They have Knuckles get duped by Eggman quite a bit. They do it in the Advance games. I think it's Advance 1 they do it again. They do it quite a bit more, that Knuckles just gets tricked. I'm like, why are you making my man stupid? He's just dumb. The guy who's tried to destroy the world multiple times comes to him and goes, yo, you know that guy you've been teaming with for a while? He done some stupid shit. You gotta go stop him. And Knuckles goes, oh, I better go stop. What the hell is this garbage? So yeah, after this makes zero sense to me, the whole Knuckles keeps falling for Eggman's ploy thing. It's like, come on, man. Like, give Knuckles some, like, better respect here. Okay, 5 of the emeralds are located and collected by a treasure hunter named Fang the Sniper. Well, he's not Fang the Hunter now. Who eavesdrops on a confrontation between Knuckles and Sonic. Eventually, Sonic and Tails get washed into the tidal plant, where they discover Eggman's newest base is underwater, resulting in them plunging into the water to stop Eggman. They encounter Knuckles piloting a submarine, defeat him, and leave him to drown, and he's later captured by Eggman. I remember that when playing the game and he just falls down, I'm like, whatever, let this freaking red freak die. The heroes make it to the Atomic Destroyer, where they fight Metal Sonic and Eggman. Sonic and Tails ultimately defeat the Doctor, take his Chaos Emerald to get all 6, and rescue Knuckles. Now, there is a good and bad ending, depending on if you got the emeralds or not. So if you have not collected the 5 emeralds, Fang will be shown escaping with them. And if you do have them, Knuckles and Tails fly off in the tornado together. And that is the plot of Sonic Triple Trouble, a very basic plot. This introduces us to Fang the Hunter, who was introduced in this game and is now getting a lot more spotlight in modern day now. In modern day, he gets a lot more spotlight. So, Fang was conceived as a Sega Game Gear exclusive character, and while he was designed by Shinichi Higashi, Tadashi Ihoroi, who was responsible for the planning and setting for Sonic Triple Trouble, was the one who came up with Fang's personality. Higashi himself worked for Sega between 1994 and 2002, and later became known as a popular freelance figure artist in Japan. According to an interview on rtoys.com, Higashi became interested in Sonic after studying for art school. After Sega hired him, Higashi worked in many departments, including at Sonic Team. Fang was his first professional character he designed. The pointed look of Fang's face, with his nose and hat both pointing forward, was inspired by the simple design of Opa Opa. Since he liked to collect valuables, Fang was designed with attire invoking that of an explorer. His original 4 fingers instead of the usual 5 for a Sonic character are derived from the species he was based on. During development, the character was known as Knack. However, the pronunciation of that name and Knuckles, who was recently created for Sonic 3, was similar in Japan. Therefore, it was decided to change his name. A contest to decide his name was ran in the gaming magazine Shuken Famicom Tsushin. I think I got that. In the end, the name Fang the Sniper was decided upon. Overseas, the character was originally revealed to the public as Jet. Isn't that fun now, knowing that we have a character called Jet in Sonic now? This name was discarded, and instead the name Knack was retained for the North American and Europe versions, since the Japanese pronunciation issues do not apply to English. During development of the title, Fang had what appeared to be a revolver or a silver magnum as a weapon. Sega eventually scrapped this, likely due to the stigma around firearms in kids' media. Early screenshots of Sonic Triple Trouble show him pulling out his gun to shoot Sonic, which is fucking crazy. But this was removed from the final game. Later on, Fang would get a gun, but it is a cork shooting pop gun, so it's okay now. In Japan, Fang was designed as half Jerboa and half wolf, although Higashi only had a Jerboa in mind when designing him. When Sonic Triple Trouble was localized for North America and Europe, he was designated as a weasel and renamed to Knack the Weasel. In subsequent video game appearances, he has just been called Fang, regardless of region, with no reference to his species. His Sonic Generations Wanted poster cameo broke this trend, calling him Knack the Weasel, aka Fang the Sniper. I think that's fun, because it's like, oh, he's a bounty hunter and he's wanted, so he's got different aliases. Like, I like that. I believe that's what they've now said is canon, like Knack the Weasel is just an alias he had. The official Sonic Central website described his character as a half-weasel hybrid. As of his appearance in Sonic Superstars, Fang is now known as Fang the Hunter, and is solely referred to as a Jerboa in all regions. Ian Flynn said that this was done to simplify things and to introduce an obscure animal into a Sonic game. So there's a bit of history on Fang there. I think Fang's alright. He's primarily a classic era character, and that seems to be where they want him to be. He's fine. Like, he's just like I don't really care. Like, I'm not gonna, like, be a diehard Fang guy, but I'm like, he's alright. But now, let's move on to the gameplay of the game. So it's the same as Sonic Chaos. It really operates on the exact same controls as Sonic Chaos. Sonic is slow as hell. You still have to be on solid ground to use a spin dash, otherwise Sonic's just gonna keep running in place, which totally isn't annoying at all. A plus, though, that they did fix is now you don't lose all your rings when you get hit. Because in Chaos, when you got hit, all your rings are gone. And 2 rings go scattering, so good luck. But in Triple Trouble, they fixed that. So now when you get hit, you only lose 10 rings, and 3 go scattering, so you have a better chance. So, like, that's better. Thank you, you fixed that at least. The game also introduced the one-time ability called the Flying Spin Attack, which can be performed in midair after bouncing on a spring. So this is like really only used in the first boss of the game, where you have to jump off a spring, and then when you're in the air, if you hit the jump button, Sonic will then do like a spin attack. It was hard to figure that out at first because they don't tell you anything, so I was confused as all hell. But yeah, they really only used that for the first boss. Let's move on to the levels now. We have Great Turquoise, Sunset Park, Meta Junglera. I don't know what was going through your mind when you came up with that fucking name. You use a lot of springs in this one. The Meta Junglera has a lot of springs. This is the spring level. Robotnik Winter is, the first act is real fun. The second act is way too long, and that is a problem. Because you know what we complain about Sonic Forces? These levels are too short. You can't get invested in them. This level's way too long that I want it to end, is Act 2 of Robotnik Winter. And Robotnik Winter Act 2 is when, like, the switch flips in this game, and the levels stop being, like, fun and enjoyable. They just get, like, they're a slog and pain to get through by this point now. And Robotnik Winter Zone Act 2 is that's the turning point, because before this, every level was fun. I was having a blast going through the levels. They weren't super easy. There was some challenges to them. And on the whole, I was just having a really good time. And then Act 2 of Robotnik Winter comes, and I hate life and everything in it. And I now want that meteor to hit the Earth as quick as possible. Then we give Tidal Plant, which is our water level. Sucks. This level sucks. This is the worst in the game, is Tidal Plant. Worst in the game. You're underwater. Sonic's already slow in this game. He's super slow underwater. You have multiple sections where you have to go into a bubble and you navigate in the bubble. It kind of like floats you up and you have to like navigate through it, which is a cool idea, but they do it way too much. There is multiple like falling platforms that get you. It's way too long and it sucks. It's not fun at all. I don't like it. Worst level in the game. Atomic Destroyer's problem is, again, it is a long level. It's better than the final stage from Sonic Chaos, because that's just mean. like you're never gonna beat that. Atomic Destroyer is not that. You can't beat Atomic Destroyer. It isn't like, I would say, super hard. It is the challenging level that I think you want in a final level. But the problem is that it's like a maze essentially, and you don't know where you're going. Right? Like half the time I had no idea what I was doing because it's so maze-like. And you can like repeatedly go find yourself in the same spot over and over and over again, and that's just not fun. I beat one of the acts, I don't remember which one. I beat it on accident. I was just screwing around, and then I somehow ended up at the signpost, and I was like, okay, which isn't really what you want for a final level. You don't want it to be like where you're like, I don't know what I'm doing half the time. You know, I'm just kind of dicking around, and maybe one day I'll find out how I get out of here. It's not really what you want for a final level. And there's also like a lot of hazards in this that, again, while there should be to make it difficult, some of them are just like, why? It's just unfair. So moving on to the special stages. So there are 5 different special stages. The first, third, and fifth special stages are giant mazes with a countdown timer. The timer can be boosted with a time bonus items scattered throughout the stage, but it can never exceed a minute and a half. The second and fourth special stages are you flying on the tornado to collect rings and avoid bombs. At the end of every special stage, Fang will show up and attack you with one of the Marvelous Queen's weapons to protect the Chaos Emerald. Clearing all 5 special stages unlocks the good ending of the game. Then you have the bosses. Alright, so the first boss for Great Turquoise is the Tart Turtle. This is the one where I'm like, the spin attack, the jumping spin attack had me. I'm like, what am I doing, you know? But before that, he's pretty simple. You just have to jump up and hit him. He doesn't really attack you at all either. It's just jump and hit. So he's not that bad. Then we have, I don't know what you were thinking with this name for Sunset Park, the Marva Shupopoulos Goo. Who did I just insult with that word? What god, what religion did I just slander by saying that in some foreign language? I don't know what the fuck. So it's essentially you're on a train, and the train is moving, right? That's the boss. You're on a train, the train's moving, and you have to just jump over the like little cracks. There'll be some like, you know, badniks in the air, and you just gotta jump and hit them. That's pretty simple. The bad part is when you get to like the actual front of the train. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to hit the front of the train 3 times. And it will shoot spikes at you. You have to jump over them. That's well and good. The bad part is the goddamn camera. So the camera, like, moves to and fro, and you can only get to the front of the train to hit it when the camera moves forward. Otherwise, you're fucked. And if the camera's back, you're not moving back. You're stuck there, right? That sucks, and I wish it didn't do that. I wish it was just stationary camera. I run forward, and I can hit 3 times, and that's it. But the camera screwed me up so much in this part, so I blame that on the camera. Conceptually, I think this boss is fine. The camera was the bad part about this. Then we have the Meta Junglera boss, which is the Wood Batorundorf. I don't know what you were thinking when you came up with these names, man. What fucking gibberish were you reading? This one's fine. This is a real fine boss. It's just like he swings down from side to side, and you got to jump and hit him. If you stay on the far right side, you're not gonna get hit by him at all, and you can just jump and clock him as he comes over to you. And after you beat him, the boss isn't over because, like, I believe it's like fire will descend from the sky, so you have to dodge all that, and then the boss is over. It's a decent boss. Then we have Robotnik Winter's Giga Thomas Pen again. What am I fucking reading? Did you just took letters and just smushed them together and go, that'll fucking work? I don't know. So this boss, the Badniks and Robotnik Winter Zone are like these penguins, and this boss just like shoots out a couple penguins, and you have to dodge those penguins while jumping and hitting the boss. It's very simple, actually. As long as you don't go behind it, if you stay in front of it, you're fine, and it's pretty simple. Then we have Tidal Planet's boss, which is Knuckles. He's in a submarine, and he will occasionally throw 2 bombs at you and then fire a missile. And then after like that like you go through the routine, an air bubble will come up for you to get, so you don't drown to death. Knuckles' boss is the best thing about Tidal Planet because it's actually doable and isn't, you know, making me want to kill myself. So good boss, I would say. It's a very interesting boss for Knuckles too, him in an actual machine. I know we have that as well later in other games, but it's just interesting to have Knuckles in an actual, you know, Eggman creation. And then Atomic Destroyer. So the third act is it's a boss rush, man. You go through 4 bosses in a row. Need I remind you, no checkpoints in this game. They did not fix that from Chaos. There's still 0 checkpoints. So again, I had to make my own checkpoints with the save function in the Origins port that I'm playing on. So 4 bosses in a row. No checkpoints. Okay, so we have Metal Sonic as the first one. So what you do is you get some rocket shoes at the start of the level and you start flying and Metal Sonic chases you. He will inevitably knock you down. That's just a program thing. And then you have to fight him. And his boss is actually not that hard. So essentially what he'll do is he'll just dive bomb you every now and then. You just got to jump and hit him. And then occasionally he will get wrapped up in like his, like his yellow electricity. And when he's wrapped in that, you have to just jump and avoid him. Then the electricity will go away, rinse and repeat until you beat him. Pretty simple, standard stuff. Then the first boss for Eggman, which is a 3-phase boss, is the Pogo Mech. So he's just on like a pogo, jumping around. He's very easy. If you die to this, you just suck at gaming and you should just retire. Then there is the Flame Lightning Thrower. So he's now like in the Eggmobile and he's just like going from side to side up top. And he starts charging up the like cannon he has at the bottom to hit you with flames or lightning and stuff like that, right? With those two specifically. And all you have to do is you just have to keep moving around, jumping and hitting him. And that's pretty much it. Pretty simple as well. And then the final boss, my god, man, they just chose violence this day. I labeled it as the pod battle. It's kind of like Sonic 1. Remember, like Robotnik goes in like the pods and they descend and you have to like make sure you're there to hit him while 4 like energy balls come at you. It kind of does that again. They have the 4 energy balls at the top, but it's not balls anymore, it's lasers, and they are constantly shooting at you. And Robotnik comes down from the side. There's 2 like little pods on the side, and he will descend down from them, so you have to jump and hit him as he descends down them. This boss sucks, man. This is hard as hell. If it wasn't for me having the ability to save, I'd have got pissed, dude, because I would have beaten everything, come back, and just died. I hated this. This is hard. This is real hard. Hard to the point, too, where it's like, how am I supposed to do this? Kind of thing. Like, really? Yeah, I think this might be a bit too hard, you know? I mean, I beat it, right? It's like saying that I didn't beat the Sonic Chaos final boss. I beat this one. I don't know how the fuck I did it. I think I just damage rushed him somehow because I beat him and I don't know how I did that. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't think I should have beat him, but the game gave it to me. I don't know how. Now, supposedly Eggman has 17 hit points. I don't know if that's for the pod battle or if that's just throughout all the phases, it's 17 hit points. I don't know about that one. You'll have to let me know if I'm wrong about that. But I have found this comment from YouTube, and it perfectly describes the bosses. Phase 1, oh no, my machine with no defense or offensive options was destroyed. Phase 2, oh no, my machine with very limited range attacks that go off at set intervals was destroyed. Final phase, fuck you. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That perfectly describes the final boss of Triple Trouble. So, re-releases for Triple Trouble. Triple Trouble was re-released for Sonic Adventure DX. It is a lockable game after collecting some emblems. It is in Sonic Mega Collection Plus. It was on the 3DS Virtual Console, and of course in Sonic Origins. And then I should say that there was a remake of this game, a fan remake by Noah Copeland. A 16-bit remake of Sonic Triple Trouble, reimagining this game as if it was a Genesis game. They took the soundtrack, redid it, just kind of brought it to like a Genesis soundtrack, and they redid the story too. So they made it take place after Sonic 3, so it's kind of like a pseudo Sonic 4 in a way. Very interesting, and I really like that 16-bit remake. I want to play it, which I may or may not do next up for my marathon here. If my computer lets it and doesn't kill itself, I will play the 16-bit remake. If not, I'm gonna have to wait a bit longer, but I'd love to play that remake. And it's very fun. They had you can tell it's from a lot of passion for that remake. Noah, I really hope you continue making more games. Noah also made like a Sonic Drift 16-bit remake, though he kind of stopped that. He gave up on that project, sadly. But at least we have Triple Trouble. 16-bit remake, which is awesome. It's great. They have fun with the soundtrack too. They really have a lot of fun with that soundtrack. I would go and on YouTube and listen to the original Sonic Triple Trouble soundtrack and then the 16-bit remake, and you can tell, like, oh my god, you know? But there we go. So that is Sonic Triple Trouble as a whole. I give it a 7 out of 10 is where I give it. I think it is much better than Chaos. It's much better than Sonic Chaos. A definite improvement. They did a lot of improvements, like I said, making it so you don't lose all the rings right away. They give you more ring scattering. The level design is a lot better for the first half of the game. Really fun levels, I would say. Until you get to that second half and they just want you to die. At least the final zone is not like rage-inducing and all that. The bosses still retain a lot of the fun that you normally see in Sonic bosses, bar the end of the Phase 3, where it's just like you suck and you're gonna die. I think Triple Trouble is a genuinely fun game. I do think that. I mean, again, I have my frustrations with that second half. But, like, on the whole, it's a solid package. So I would say a 7 out of 10 is where I would put Sonic Triple Trouble. A massive improvement from Sonic Chaos. And there's a reason why when it comes to, like, the Game Gear Sonic games, this is, like, the one that people think of the most. Because it is genuinely just a Sonic game on the Game Gear. And if this was on the Genesis, people would probably think, like, yeah, this is a Sonic game. It's pretty decent, you know? Which is, again, what the 16-bit remake was trying to do. So there we go. That is Sonic Triple Trouble for me. 7 out of 10. Real fun. Thank you guys all so much for listening and watching. And guys, I will see you guys all next time.